Tackle Junkies, what's going on, everyone? Really appreciate you guys and gals for clicking on the video. We're back with Rigs for Bigs. If you guys don't know, I do a rigging gear video for Monster Bass every month for the baits in the box or bag, depending what subscription you guys get. I do believe the Platinum now come in those bags, so that's pretty cool as well. But anyways, guys, let's go ahead and kick it off with and now, I may not have every bait that you guys may have received. They are regional, just depends where you are as far as which baits you're going to get. But I've already done a handful of these videos, which I'll link all down below. So if I don't cover a bait that you got in this video, I may have already covered it in the past. But the first one we're going to talk about today is the Bagley Balsa B1. So we have a square bill here. Love the color. It's kind of like a green pumpkin orange type color. Okay, good looking square bill there. Now the deal with the square bill, I've heard so many companies that say that their bait has like that that hunting action. As far as I know, I've never, well, put it this way, with this water clarity, you can't see too much, but you can feel it. And you can also watch your line, and I've yet to see a square bill that will hunt on its own, okay? Deflection is key when you're tossing crankbaits, no matter the depth. If you're fishing 2 foot, 5 foot, 10 foot, 20 foot, you need to hit bottom. You need to deflect off stumps, laydowns. You know, deflection is the key to getting bites. So this one here, I believe, goes roughly 5 to 6 feet. So that's kind of the range that I would throw this in. Anywhere from probably 3 to 5 is where I'll toss this square bill here. Usually just target, usually rocky banks or laydowns with square bills. Okay, for the gear, this is a cranking rod, okay? Okuma Guide Select 7 foot, medium power, moderate, fast action. Anytime you're dealing with treble hooks, you want a softer action rod. It allows the fish to get the bait and overall just helps you fight and land the fish. Reel, 6-speed reel I like for crankbaits or really any moving bait. This is a 6.3 and I'm running 15-pound Seaguar InvisX. Now anytime you're using a crankbait, a jerkbait, really a diving type bait, you can use your pound test or your line diameter and even the position of your rod to control depth. So if you want this bait to go extra shallow, you can run like a 20-pound mono on it. A mono is a floating line. It's got a much bigger diameter, or you can just kind of crank with your rod tip up. So just keep that in mind. Your line and the rod position will determine just how deep that bait goes. Even just making shorter casts, it won't allow it to go as deep, okay? But for the most part, 15-pound test is what I crank with. All right, next up we have the Smithwick Suspending. This is the Pro Rogue. It dives 0 to 6 feet, 4.5 inches, 3/8 of an ounce. Right now, I'm pretty much done throwing jerkbaits. To be honest, guys, I didn't even get to throw a jerkbait this season yet. It's something I like to do in colder water, but with my work schedule and the amount of rain we got this spring, I just didn't get out there and get it done. So I got one tied on here, obviously, for you guys, but I didn't actually get to fish one yet this year. This is something I'll bring out again, you know, come fall. But depending where you are, where you're at, where you're located, it might be a great time to be tossing a jerkbait, okay? Love the color on this one. This color is Golden Shiner. Golden Shiner. Good looking shad pattern there. Okay. As far as line goes on jerkbaits, I usually run 12-pound test. This is Seaguar InvisX. I've heard guys going down to like 6 and 8-pound test. Just depends on the depth you're trying to reach. But again, with the water clarity that I'm fishing, I'm not trying to go all that deep. I'm not fishing that deep just because the fish don't live that deep. So for me, 12-pound test is perfect. But again, if you're around some clearer water, trying to get some more depth out of your jerkbaits, your crankbaits, go a bit smaller in pound tests, but also pay attention to the line diameter, okay? Same deal if you want to keep it extra shallow, just like with the crankbaits. You can run, you know, 14 or 17-pound test on it to keep it a bit shallower. But also keep in mind, if you go a bit heavier, it may affect the action just a bit, okay? As far as the equipment goes, this is the Tatula. It's the Elite rod. I believe this is like the Seth Fighter rod. We talked about this before in a video. This one is a 6'9", okay? Again, the brands don't matter. Use what you got, use what you like. But as far as rod length goes, we'll just put it that way. I like a shorter rod. Same deal for topwater. When you're using a jerkbait, you're using a downward motion, and I'm not a very tall dude. So keep in mind too, if you're on the banks, you might be slapping the bank or slapping the boat or the water if you're using a much longer rod. So me being a shorter guy, I like a shorter rod so I can use that downward motion, and again, I'm not smacking the boat or smacking the water. So for me, anywhere in that 6'8" to 6'10" range is perfect. This particular rod is a medium light, but anywhere from like a medium light to a medium power is perfect. And I like anywhere from like a moderate fast to a fast action rod for my jerkbaits. Obviously, the slower the action, the better chance you're going to land that fish, just because the action's softer. Again, it allows you to fight the fish. But with that faster action, and I'll link another video down below because we went over this in another video, the faster action is going to kind of give you better action and easier to work the baits, but the tip's not as soft. So it's kind of a give and take there. It depends really what you're looking for. But for me, for the most part, I do like I said, that 6'8" to 6'10", you know, medium light to a medium, and a moderate fast action. It's kind of like a happy medium there, okay? So as far as the reel goes, anytime I'm using the rod to work the bait, again, jerkbait or topwater, I like a 7-speed reel. The rod's working the bait, the reel's just picking up slack. This is the Tatula 80 here in a 7-1, nice small compact reel. And again, we are running 12-pound, that is Seagar InvisX. Great little jerkbait and even topwater combo right there. All right, next up we have a couple spinnerbaits. First one here is from Mustad. It's called the Arm Lock, and it's got this reinforced arm to preserve the hook integrity and secure the fish. So there it is, the Mustad Arm Lock. I guess it just makes that bend there a bit more stable. Okay, double willow, hand-tied skirt. Nice looking spinnerbait. Okay. Another spinnerbait you may have gotten is the MONSTERBASS Blade Burner Double Colorado. Nice looking spinnerbait there. Nice paint job, hand-tied skirt. Sticky sharp Mustad hook. And I really do like those trailer keepers. That bent piece of steel there. Those hold on really well. Just run your plastic over that keeper, just pinch it in that area and it just locks it down. So that's a great little soft plastic keeper there. These are two totally different types of spinnerbaits. A double Colorado is more suited for dirtier, muddy water. They have a bit more resistance compared to willow blades, so it almost forces you to slow down, and they have a bit more thump as well. Again, perfect for, you know, low visibility water. The double willow is typically for much cleaner to clear water, okay? Now, just because I say that, don't think you can't throw a double willow in muddy water. I always throw a double willow, really, in muddy water just because we have shad. I feel a willow blade mimics a shad very well, so they're probably used to that vibration, so I can get away with throwing a willow. I do move, or I like to move a bit faster. Like I said, a double Colorado forces you to slow down, where I can move these much faster, and I still feel I have the vibration that I need to help locate the fish. So typically, like I said, these are for much cleaner, clearer water, but don't think you can't throw them in the mud holes as well. But like I was saying, in clear water, if you don't have the right conditions, you need to move a spinnerbait much faster. And again, those willow blades allow you to do that. But the right conditions for a spinnerbait is really low light conditions. So cloud cover, a bit of wind, really anything that cuts down on light penetration kind of helps camo the bait because the bass can't see as well. Obviously, a spinnerbait doesn't look all that real. So bit of wind, cloud cover, really wind is your friend when you're tossing spinnerbaits. All right, for the combo, Okuma TCS is a 6'9", medium heavy mod fast. Again, I like that softer action, allows the fish to get the bait a bit better, helps you fight the fish. I'm a bit more accurate as well with that softer action rod. It kind of helps on little roll casts and things like that. You might be wondering why I like a shorter rod for spinnerbaits. Well, with this water clarity, I'm not really looking for distance on my cast. I'm more target fishing because these bass will be tight to cover. They're going to be next to laydowns and stumps and things like that. So I'm not trying to bomb my spinnerbait across the lake. I'm trying to precisely, put my spinnerbait next to a laydown and a stump and things like that. So a shorter rod allows me to do that. Again, a 6.9 medium heavy mod fast. For the reel, I like a 6-speed. A 6-speed has a lot of power, and you're going to want a 6-speed reel, especially if you start getting into even bigger Colorado blades. Let the reel do the work. Like I said, a 6-speed, ton of power. You can always speed it up or slow it down. But this one here is the SLX A series in a 6.3, and we are running 15-pound. That is Seaguar Invis-X. All right, last up we have a few different soft plastics. The first one being a Z-Man Helicross. It'd be a great jig trailer, or you can just Texas rig it. I'm using a 4-aught. It's a Mustad EWG. It's the new Alpha Point series. I got a little code for Mustad as well. I'll put it on the screen for you guys and link them down below. But 4-aught EWG is a perfect fit for this bait here, and you can just pitch that around, laydowns and stumps and brush and things like that. All right, the next one here is from V&M. This is the RC Crawl. Pretty cool looking bait here, but you can tell from the design that this bait here is probably for pitching and flipping, coming in and out of cover. Nice slender profile there. The claws are a bit smaller. It even has some extra plastic there on the back to hold a flipping hook. So pretty cool design there. This one here, I would definitely peg. You want this bait to follow the weight in the cover, okay? So if you have, some mats or some grass or something like that, if you don't peg the weight may go through and the bait will lay on top. So something like this is meant to go through the cover, so definitely peg it. We don't really have any mats, really any thick mats around here, so I'll probably just pitch this around some shoreline grass, some brush and things like that. I'm just going to run a 4-aught Mustad Alpha Point flipping hook on here, probably a 3/8 ounce tungsten weight, and of course I'll have that pegged. All right, last up we have a bait from Grande Bass. Gotta give a shout out to the owner of Monster Bass, Rick. He just purchased Grande Bass, so he now owns them. Pretty dang cool. Congrats, buddy. Looking forward to seeing what you do with this company as well. But this color right here, I believe you can only get in these boxes or these bags, depending, like I said, which level you're getting. But Grande Bass 5-inch air tail rattler in summer craw, okay? Bunch of different ways you can rig this bait here. Little Nico rig, shaky head, Texas rig. That's how I'm going to do it, just Texas rig it and pitch it around some cover. Ribbed body, it floats really well, so on the bottom, of course, that tail is going to stand up. But a cool feature about this bait, I'm sure you guys won't be able to see that, there's a little hole there in the tail, okay? You can put a rattle in there, little rattles like that you can put in there. You can put some scent in there, okay? Of course, you don't have to do anything, just let it float, but it's pretty cool that you have a spot for a rattle or some scent as well. I'm just going to Texas rig that 3/aught round bend offset, new Mustad Alpha Point series hook, probably like an 1/8 ounce tungsten weight, and like I said, just pitch that around shoreline cover. But pretty cool worm there from Grande Bass. Okay, now time for the equipment for your soft plastics. I'm going to try and keep this pretty simple. I have two different rods here. One is a medium heavy fast, the other is a heavy fast, both 7.3. I'm also using both 7-speed reels. Anytime I'm using the rod to work the bait, the reel's basically just picking up slack. So I like a higher speed reel for that reason. And I'm using anywhere from 15 to 17 pound fluorocarbon, okay? So that's for the most part, medium heavy fast, 7-speed reels, 15 to 17 pound fluorocarbon, okay? Now, as far as which one I'm going to choose, I'm going to let the cover that I'm fishing, maybe the size fish that I'm fishing around, the gauge of wire hook that I'm using, I'm going to let those factors determine which one I'm going to use. So if I'm in more open water, Medium heavy is all I need. If I'm trying to, you know, pitch some mats, or if I'm around some 8-10 pounders, which you guys know I'm not, but if I was around some huge fish, you know, using a heavy gauge wire flipping hook and some thick mats, I'm going to want the heavy. So I keep it that simple. Open water, medium heavy, thicker cover, thicker mats, bigger fish, things like that, I want the heavy. Again, 7-speed reels, 15 to 17 pound fluorocarbon is what I'm going to run. But guys, I gave you guys a handful of rods and reels you can use. And I know not everybody has that many combos. But with all the baits we have in the box here, from the spinnerbait, the crankbait, the jerkbait, all the soft plastics, if I could choose one rod for everything, it may not be the best rod, but if I just had like a 7-foot, medium heavy, fast action rod, that one rod would do everything. It may not be the best. It's kind of a happy medium. So if you have that rod, you can do really all these techniques. It might be a bit too stiff for the crankbaits, maybe not stiff enough for, you know, certain cover that you're fishing, but it's a good happy medium. It'll get you out there on the water. Get yourself a 6 or 7-speed reel, 15-pound fluorocarbon, or even mono. For years, all guys used was mono. Mono's fine. Don't think you have to use fluorocarbon. If you got, you know, 12, 14, 15-pound mono, it'll work. Rig something up, get out there, have a good time. Again, don't think you need all this gear, but if you have it, this is the equipment that I would use for those baits. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to smash the thumbs up. Love you guys. We will see you guys on the next one.